An off-grid cabin is a place to connect with nature deep in the woods, with no running water, no electricity, and no cell phone service. Last time, we managed to install a screw pile foundation and build a wooden deck ourselves. Now, it's time to raise the walls of the future house, or rather, its frame. This is what it's going to look like. A small 1.5-story super cozy building. With a terrace, a future sauna, and, well, you'll find out the rest a bit later. We're building the walls using frame technology. So we're gonna need boards again, and it's time to order them. This time, a small delivery van held over 2 cubic meters of first-grade 150 by 50 boards. Ideally, you should build with kiln-dried lumber. But even this small pile of wet boards already cost us $700. Buying kiln-dried lumber would have skyrocketed our costs. Wet lumber has an annoying trait. If you leave it unused, the boards warp in all directions. And you can't really build anything from warped boards. So it's crucial to act fast. We need to assemble the frame literally within a few days. We should start with fire retardant and wood preservative treatment. We fill a bucket with 2 liters of water. That's about 2.6 gallons. Then we take a bag like this one, containing fire retardant, preservative, and powder form. This format is very convenient because we don't have to carry heavy canisters of preservatives. We pour the powder into the water and mix it thoroughly until it's completely dissolved. The substance is completely transparent, but I added some red dye to indicate where it's been applied. This made it so much easier to see where the preservative has already been applied and where it still needs to be applied. Using a roller isn't exactly the fastest process, but it's better quality than using a sprayer. The consumption is lower and we definitely won't miss any part of the board. Great, the boards are treated, which means it's time to start. The weather isn't exactly on our side again, drizzling all day, but hey, that's not an excuse to give up. The first wall we'll assemble is the front one, the biggest one, a full 4 meters tall. We need to cut the boards to the project dimensions, although we often modify the project on the fly, so don't rely too much on our blueprint. It's just for general understanding of the process. Install the bottom plate of the future wall. Now the 2 side studs, each 4 meters long. Finally, we screw on the end plate. We get a rectangle like this, but right now it has no rigidity or strength at all, so we keep cutting. Then we install the interior studs, without screwing them in for now. This is where the entrance will be. We decided to make it a bit larger than in the project. The entrance door should be large. It's more comfortable to walk through and bring in necessary stuff, like future furniture. We assemble the opening according to all building standards and firmly pull all the boards together with screws. Just look how professional it looks. We attach the next wall studs with a spacing of exactly 58 centimeters. Just like last time, this spacing is necessary so that the insulation holds firmly inside and doesn't slide down. The final elements in this wall will be 2 openings for future windows. We're building using frame technology for the first time and encountering many nuances. Every board, window opening, or brace plays a very important role in the strength of the future structure. But we have yet to learn and understand this, and you, as viewers, can learn from mistakes right along with us. The wall is finally assembled. Even during the process, we started to suspect that lifting it probably would be a little difficult. But now we need to find out for sure. So let's try. Just the 2 of us, by ourselves, we couldn't lift this wall at all. We managed to lift it about, 4 inches off the ground, and that was it. And we have absolutely no idea what the hell we're supposed to do now. The wall is made from green lumber. It's all wet. Each board weighs a huge number of kilograms, and altogether it weighs at least half a ton. You can't get anywhere in construction without some tricks, especially when you're working with just 1 or 2 people. Let's try lifting the wall using a lever, which we decided to assemble from 2 3-meter boards. We get something like a wooden channel. We need to install it in the middle of the bottom part of the wall and screw it on firmly. We add and screw on a couple more braces for stiffness. We also screw on some kicker boards at the front and side to prevent the wall from falling over while we're trying to lift it. Now for the cable. We'll connect a few cables together. We hook the cable to the middle of the top part of the wall. Then we loop it over the lever and pull it really tight. Our diesel monster will serve as the winch. Its low-range gear, 2 lockers, and mud tires should definitely handle this challenging task. We tie the cable to the Pajero's tow hitch, and this is the moment of truth. Until the very last second, we didn't know if our idea would actually work or not. Anything could happen. The cable could snap, the kicker boards could fly off into stratosphere, the wall could break in half, or it could even fall the wrong way. So many worries, and no room for error. But little by little, things started actually moving. It seems like it should work. The tension was incredible. Such a heavy wall. If it fell on a person, it would have flattened him into a pancake, like in a Tom and Jerry cartoon. So we acted extremely careful. And finally, victory! The wall is standing in its place and not falling. We urgently need to secure it with a couple of temporary braces to fix it in an upright position. The scale of this house feels pretty massive now. You'd think the foundation is only 6 by 3 meters, like how big can that be? But the wall height really makes a difference. For extra reliability, it's worth securing it with these huge screws. They'll definitely pull the structure together firmly. Nighttime is approaching, which means it's time to cook dinner. Although we realized it's not very convenient to cook here. We're missing a kitchen counter. We just happen to have a few boards left over from installing the floor. They'll also come in handy because we're going to make a countertop from them right now. We need to cut 3 identical boards and put them together. Then we clamp the boards with bar clamps and join the resulting panel from the back with screws. Excellent. Time to install it. The table will stand on a couple of legs made of the same boards, and for strength, we also screwed it directly to the wall. But what's a kitchen without a sink and a tap? A plastic container works perfectly as a sink, and it's not the first time we've used this method. We need to cut a hole in the countertop. We insert the sink with its integrated drain into the hole. The water will drain directly overboard. All that's left is to attach the water tank with a tap, and the job is done. The wash basin is ready to use, which means cooking and washing dishes just got way more convenient. Although, we'll need to replace the tap because this one turned out to be a little too leaky. For dinner, we decided to cook duck. We always chop off the goosebump and give it as a treat to our favorite guest, the fox. She's crazy about such treats. Now we cut the duck into smaller portion-sized pieces. Separate the wings, legs, thighs, etc. A good sharp knife makes quick work of it. We pour some oil into the cast iron pot and toss the duck pieces in to sear. It's important not to overdo it with the oil, as duck is very fatty anyway. Our task right now is to render out all the excess fat and get a beautiful browned crust. Meanwhile, we can chop the veggies. Nothing fancy, just onion and bell pepper. We stir the duck every 5 minutes. The pepper and onion will add sweetness and bright colors to the dish. The meat pieces are already browned, which means it's time to add the veggies. We give them a thorough stir too. Meanwhile, the fox is sitting there licking her lips, waiting for more treats. For seasoning, I used a ready-made spice mix for ribs. It works perfectly with duck too. And to make the dish more hearty, we decided to add a bit of potato. Although this step is optional. Rice or buckwheat could serve as a side dish. Time to dish out the food onto plates. It smells incredibly delicious. Everything stewed and simmered perfectly. The meat is as tender and soft as the vegetables. And we gave the bones to our furry friend, the little foxy.
Горячо.
In the morning, we were greeted by the lonely standing wall. We need to hurry up and install the next ones before the snow starts falling. The back wall is assembled much more easily, as it doesn't have any openings. It's enough to attach identical studs with the required spacing, and then be sure to fit in a brace. Which adds strength and ties all the wall elements together. A circular saw and an axe, which I used to chop out the extra bits of wood, handle this task perfectly. When the notch is ready in all the studs, you can insert the brace. Then we screw it in place with screws. We weren't sure if we could lift this wall with just the two of us, but we decided to try anyway. With immense effort, the 3x6 meter wall finally gave in and stood up into place. Although, our backs certainly won't thank us. We screw this wall in and also add temporary braces. According to the project, we have 2 sidewalls left. They aren't drawn entirely correctly there, but during construction we learned a thing or two and figured out how to do it more simply and correctly. Look, all these walls are assembled on the floor. This way you can achieve the highest quality and most level result. Reaching and connecting all these elements on the floor is way easier than doing it on a standing wall. We made the sidewall completely flat, just like the back wall. We'll fill the future gaps near the roof later. It's incredible to watch a real house grow before your eyes in a matter of hours and days. We didn't waste any time and worked around the clock. It gets dark fast, but the construction keeps going. All that's left is to lift the final 4th wall. Then screw it in place, and the frame is almost ready. When we started building the off-grid cabin, it was hard to grasp the scale of the project in our minds. Now, seeing it in real life, you begin to understand that anything is possible. With enough determination, you can even build a house with your own hands. You just have to want it. It's all in your hands. This is the giant house we're ending up with. Honestly, we're shocked and already very, very tired. But we're on the home stretch. Our walls are this high for a reason. We needed to leave space for a 2nd floor. Or rather, the house will be just a story and a half. The 2nd floor will rest on the same 150 by 50 boards, and we'll attach it directly to the vertical wall studs. There will be quite a bit of space up there. The final step of construction in this episode will be installing the roof rafters. The roof is as simple as it gets. We take 200 by 50 boards. These boards are much stronger and will handle heavy snow loads in winter. We install them with the same spacing, matching the future insulation size. This roof will handle any load, even the heaviest from the bad weather. Speaking of bad weather, severe frost came during the night. Everything got covered in frost, and simply froze solid. Even our winter tent, it iced over too. Waking up and crawling out on a frosty morning like this isn't exactly the most pleasant experience. Overnight, everything got dusted with snow, covered in frost, and froze. We urgently need to close up the roof from future rain, snow, and all the other crap falling from the sky. By the way, all the rafters were installed using a bird's mouth cut. Thanks to this, the board rests fully on the wall, and the load will be distributed evenly. The frame of the main house block is ready. It's standing firm, and now it's best to let it dry out before doing any further work. We'll cover the roof with a tarp to protect the frame from precipitation. The wind and sun will definitely dry out the boards. Okay, now listen. How soon the next episode comes out depends entirely on you. If you share the video with your friends, family, your school teacher, and get active in the comments, we won't mothball the project for the winter. So it's all in your hands. And a special thanks for subscribing.